Anthony Davis, we have a max waiting for you once you're finished with your year. We're just not trading away all our assets to get you. Understand that, that makes us better and, makes you have a wonderful landing spot when that year is up.
3 problems I have with that, though. 1, if I'm Kevin Durant, or not Kevin Durant, sorry, if I'm Anthony Davis, and I hear you tell me you're not willing to come get me now, why do I want to go to you? If you don't want me for that price, you don't want me that bad.
No.
Whereas the Lakers are willing to give up their entire fucking team to get
Counter argument. Do you want... Fine, you want me to give up everything that we have to get you. So basically, you are happy being Pelicans bad, but in a different city. That's what you want.
No, see,
you want your career to be about not making the playoffs or barely making them and not being able to win. Because that's what your legacy will forever be if that's what you want to do.
No, you're right. I'm not saying that he should want that. I'm saying if I were a player and the Knicks were like, we're going to do what we can to get you, if I hear them say we're willing to do that and I'm interested in playing, I personally would be like, no, don't. I'll see you next year. I'd be like, don't worry about that. If you're not going to, especially without Kevin Durant. If you have Kevin Durant playing, ready to go, and you bring in Kyrie, Jimmy Butler, even Klay Thompson, and I say I'm going to have Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, I'm going to have me, then you're going to have Mitchell Robinson or Kevin Knox, you're going to have Dennis Smith Jr. or Alonzo Trier, you're going to draft a player.
Where do you think they're going to get money for KD, Klay, and fucking Kyrie?
No, it was an or. It's not.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it wasn't all
I
of
heard
them.
and I was like...
No, if I said and, I'm sorry. I meant or. So, KD. Well, the idea was KD and X plus Anthony Davis.
Okay.
Was the main idea. Now, KD is not going to be there next year. So, we'd still probably be plus X, and X plus Anthony Davis is what I think they're hoping for. Who that plus X is. If the Knicks get Kevin Durant, I can accept plus X in a high contract being a second-tier star. Like, it doesn't have to be one of the top 5 guys in the NBA. If you want to throw a bunch of money at Kevin Durant and Kemba Walker and then get AD, I'm fine with that. If it's Jimmy Butler, I'm fine with that. I've said his name a lot and said if he's the best you can get, I don't want Chris Middleton. If Chris Middleton is the second guy with Kevin Durant, I'm good with Chris Middleton. Get him. You don't need to throw all of the money at 2 all-star players. You don't need 2 A-plus players. You need an A-plus player in Kevin Durant and then an A- player in Chris Middleton. Mm-hmm. I'm good with that.
I just don't think you give that non-A-plus player a max. So in my opinion, if they're demanding a max, you don't get them.
Well, no, that's what I was saying. You throw less money to get not super significantly less talented player.
Yeah. Like, I would get Kawhi in a heartbeat, give him anything he wants, and if you get Kawhi, that's that's the nearest thing to getting a healthy Durant as far as talent level. And then, the plan is kind of the same as it was when you got, when you were considering getting a healthy KD, get someone to pair with him, maybe make a trade for AD. If you're not getting Kawhi, I think the strategy completely changes because no one else is that level, in my opinion. That's a current free agent.
So then the other argument could be, sorry to cut you off, bring in KD, have him sit. You're not necessarily tanking, but you're not going to waste Kevin Durant's years trying to be something you're not. So, Kevin Durant's not playing. You want to trade for Anthony Davis still, maybe, who knows. If you trade for Anthony Davis and then you wait until the next free agency, that opens up possibility of going out and trying to woo Damian Lillard. trying to woo Giannis, trying to woo Joel Embiid. So there are a lot of very good players that if you can play the long game, will work.
Yeah. If you get KD, I think that your strategy has to be to, unfortunately, to tank again and only get him. I don't think you're going to get another superstar to the Knicks when you're giving a max to KD. They're going to be like, they're going to be like, well, I don't want to waste a year. You guys have to waste a year, and that makes sense for y'all. But if I'm a player in my prime, do I want to waste a year waiting for KD to come back from injury? And will he come back to even near his old self? Sure, his game isn't Kobe's. He doesn't rely quite as much on athleticism. But no one has come back from this injury to be 100%.
Right.
So what are you expecting back? So I don't think you're going to get another marquee free agent if you go that route. But that's okay too. Fans won't love it, but at the same time, you're like, okay, I've got KD waiting in the wings, and we got RJ, and let's see what these young kids can do.
And there are plenty of players that teams have said are available for trades. Like as a Knicks fan, wouldn't you love to have Clint Capella if you can get him fucking cheap? I mean, he's been made available. Him and Chris Paul are available. I'm not saying go after Chris Paul. He's not what the Knicks should be focusing on. But, why not try and trade for Lonzo if you need a point guard? If you're worried. Tony's over here shaking his head. But
yeah, because that's what you want, is the Ball family in fucking New York.
Have you heard anything from LeVar?
What's there to talk about? What is there to talk about? Your son didn't make the fucking playoffs. He's not a fucking all-star. He's at very best, he is average in the NBA. Your two sons are not making the NBA. Your family is irrelevant. But you give him the New York market in the New York media, and so help me God, knowing this man, it will be a resurgence of fucking asshole.
So, I bring up Lonzo for a couple of reasons. One, they're obviously trying to trade him. They're obviously trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, which makes me think that even though we're not hearing him because he's not relevant nationally, and most people on a national level don't care, it seems like he's still pissing off people in LA.
He's pissing off LeBron. Him and LeBron don't mesh. Their games
don't
work together.
Really? That is unbelievably shocking to me. That they don't get along.
The Lakers are going to go out.
The arrogance between both of them doesn't mesh?
I don't think Lonzo's an arrogant player.
I'm not talking about Lonzo.
Oh, you're talking about LeVar. Okay. LeVar and LeBron.
Lonzo doesn't do anything. The only thing
he's a solid point guard.
He's
solid all around.
His shooting's ugly.
He's suitable at point guard.
He's got better under LeBron. I don't think LeBron and he have a problem, but
no.
That's what you're saying. LeVar is a problem, and who can disagree with that?
A couple of clashing egos.
He's better than the point guards the Knicks have.
You want LeVar Ball out of the conversation? You send Lonzo to Minnesota because there's no fucking way LeVar is going to Minnesota.
I think Lonzo's going to Chicago. I think he's going to be a Bull in the next 2 weeks.
You know what?
That'd be just as
that adds up.
New York.
It does.
That math works for me.
It does.
It really does. That or Miami. I could see both of those.
For some reason, Miami likes the team they've got.
Chicago can work for LeVar.
Well, that's cute for Miami.
It is.
Yeah, Miami's team is not doing much in the next couple of years. They're in. They look to me to be in mediocrity.
They just seem like they're content with the team they have, and the team they have isn't that great. I mean, are there pieces that I would like to have on the Knicks? Well, I mean, of course.
Right. You could say that about any team, though.
Yeah, especially Toronto. If Kawhi and Kyle Lowry and Marc Gasol wanted to come to the Knicks, fuck yes, I'd take him. Pascal Siakam, I would take Siakam in a heartbeat. Guy's a future All-Star fucking stud.
I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. Really what it comes down to is we just have to wait for the finals to end, and then the rumor mill will start flying. We'll start seeing where things are shaping up after that.
Do you think the Warriors, regardless of what happens with the finals, are just going to blow up their team if KD and Klay both leave? Do you think they're gonna send Draymond to another team and try and get back a ton of picks and rebuild through the draft? Or Curry? Well, I mean, you can't get rid of Curry. Curry's the face of Oakland. What was that?
I was just saying Curry's going to be a Warrior for life.
He's the face of Oakland. He is the most liked person in the city of Oakland. If the Warriors got rid of Steph Curry, there would be a fucking riot, and all of the teams in Oakland would have to move to Vegas with the Raiders.
Well, I mean, they're building a brand new stadium in Oakland for
the A's. Yeah.
And for the Warriors.
Yeah, this is the last game at the Oracle.
Yeah, well, I mean, with all the money they've gotten in, whatever, California's going to pay for it. They pay for everything anyways. But
and now
I don't know if they explode the team. I think that they're gonna look to keep one or the other. I think they know that they can't get away with both. But I mean, before there was KD, before Draymond Green really developed into this defensive player, it was the Splash Brothers. I think at the very least they're gonna try and keep those two together. I think they know that KD, they got him on loan. Like, they were renting him for a while. I don't think they believed they could keep him. I think that they can get away with a 1-year deal again on Cousins, because Cousins didn't really have the year that he wanted to prove everything, so you can probably get him affordable to stay. And maybe he'll actually stay healthy, because if he's healthy, DeMarcus Cousins runs the risk. We all forget this because we haven't seen him at all this year, and not much of last year towards the end, but he has the ability to be a 20-20 guy on any given night.
I just don't know if he still does after all the injuries. You're right. When he is on, he's fucking insane.
What I'm saying is it's a matchup thing for him, because if he can push somebody around, he can be that guy on any given
night. He looked pretty good the other night, getting some difficult buckets.
After Durant went out, he something clicked in his mind. He's like, I'm just going to start pushing people around. I am out of fucks to give. And I don't think that Cousins has ever had any in his life to give.
Some really difficult baskets.
Yeah.
And he
was forcing the issue. He was causing foul trouble. And you could see it was frustrating them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what you need him to do. That's what Boogie's there to do.
The problem is, can he do that as a starter? Can he keep that up for 30-plus minutes? Or is he a guy you bring off the bench and have him be like an enforcer type who can also score?
Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Warriors try and get Klay and get Curry and keep the Splash Brothers together, and then after that possibly trade Draymond to try and get the most they can get out of him and try and use those two as the catalyst to build going forward. Because like I said, KD was never going to be a Warrior for a long time. He was here for the championships, and he was going to leave.
Yeah. Now that they have the money, I wouldn't be surprised if they re-signed Klay to a max. Without having to worry about Durant, they certainly could. And then, if they can throw something at Boogie, even if it's another, year deal, then they're still a very dominant team.
Especially because you have all these people going for the big guys. It means Golden State knows what they are, and they can take shots at guys that are middle of the road, above average, and start scooping them up before other people start thinking, oh, well, we've got to resort to this.
The good news is the Warriors also have some soon-to-be great players.
That's an awesome shirt.
It is. I love
For
it.
Oakland and KD is in
Yeah.
gold. That's yo. So somebody marketing came up real quick. He's like,